Do you feel you are going down the dark path of burnout? Or maybe just utterly exhausted and you don't know what to do? Today, I would like to share with you my mistakes I made that led me to the biggest burnout of my life back in July of 2024. Welcome to Pinebrook Homestead. My name is Marie. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It is so good to see you again. I do have my tea, and ladies who are dealing with menopause, I have a tea for you. So this is from Mountain Rose Herbs, and this is called Flashes Tea. And this is supposed to help with the hot flashes. And your ingredients are motherwort, sage leaf, dandelion leaf, chickweed, elderflowers, lemon balm, oat straw, and raspberry leaf. So I am enjoying this today. You can also make this and put it in the refrigerator and have a cold iced tea with it if you need that cooling and refreshing, especially in the summer. So I will talk more about these teas, and no, I am not an affiliate. I'm just giving you some things that I really enjoy. So July of 2024 was when I called it quits on my life. And it was very hard for me, but it started a year prior. And I just endured it. And these were the things that I was not doing, or I was doing at that time, that I believe led to the burnout. So this is Friday, Frugal Friday, and I am going to be frugal with my time. That's kind of where I'm going with this one. So number one thing that I did that led to my burnout was I took on everything and everyone because as an introvert, I did have the need to please. And that is not always a good need. It is not good to always want to be pleasing everyone, from my husband to my children to my bosses to customers. I just wanted everybody happy. Well, in all reality, nobody's ever happy. Doesn't matter. And that's just my opinion from being in customer service. Everybody has a complaint, and those complaints and unhappiness from the world around, and it really took a turn in 2020 with COVID, or the pandemic. It really took a turn then when people started shifting, and I don't know if they were just so mad at the world. I don't know. I don't know everybody's story, but taking on those complaints, taking on as much work as I possibly could, never saying no. I never said no. That was one of my biggest mistakes. I never said no, protecting my time, whether it was at my work, whether it was at home, whether it was with friends, whether it was with volunteering at the school. I never said no. I worked so hard for everyone else that I let myself go. Completely, I let myself go. I was going through perimenopause and menopause. Everything was crazy. I was not eating well. Number two mistake. I was eating whatever I wanted at night. Now, here's what was funny. When I was working, sitting at a desk, if I ate any sort of big meal, I was exhausted anyways. If I ate any sort of big meal, I wanted a nap. And I was yawning the whole rest of the day, shoving down gallons of coffee just to try to get through. So I would eat a salad. I would take cottage cheese and fruit, but I wasn't nourishing my body. And then I would get home and I'd be famished. I would be famished, so I would eat dinner. And then pour a glass of wine, maybe two, sometimes three. Just being vulnerable here. This is how bad it was. And if that wasn't enough, and I'm tired, but you know what? My husband's not home yet. And I had fear of missing out. I did not prioritize my sleep. I just ran myself into the ground. I absolutely ran myself into the ground. So between not prioritizing my sleep, not saying no to everybody or anything, I didn't say no to anything, not prioritizing my time to recharge and replenish, not eating well, drinking wine at night, and then occasionally I'm tired, but I want to see my husband. He didn't come home till late. So what do? You pull out the bag of potato chips. Anybody else? Anybody else ever do that? You're watching something on TV, pull that bag of potato chips out. Keeps you awake because you're crunching. Adds the pounds too, and the fat and the seed oils and everything else. I was a tornado of disaster. That's what it was. So what can we do about that? Well, first and foremost, you have to set boundaries for your life. If you are in burnout, you have to set boundaries for your life. If you are in utter exhaustion, you have to set boundaries for your life. So, cheers to you all. The first boundary that I would set is look at your calendar and start clearing some things off. Because if you don't, you will continue on that hamster wheel. And unfortunately, the hamster wheel will go faster and faster and faster, and it will never stop until you break down, scream out loud, stop. Will it ever stop? So I would look at your calendar, be frugal with your time. If everybody wants you to volunteer, pick one thing to volunteer a month with. It doesn't have to be every week. It doesn't have to be every Sunday at church. Maybe you need to be in the church service to get the message that sends you through another day. And here's the thing. It is not selfish to take time to rest for yourself. God rests on the seventh day. Why don't we? Especially as women, and I know there's men out there, you're doing the same thing. Take time to rest, whether it's a day or it's hours within the day. Rest is so important. Now, I would love to get to the point where I have a true Sabbath, whether it is Saturday on my own, Sunday. My husband is off on Tuesday and Sunday, so he's never home for a full weekend. But I want to get to the point where maybe our Sunday is church and then rest, like nothing else other than meals. But I could be proactive enough to prepare something on Saturday for Sunday. And I want to get to the point where the whole family rests. We're going in so many different directions. Even now that I'm home, we are going in so many different directions. And there needs to be a time for rest, whether you're a teenager, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80. Rest is so, so important. So what is another thing that you can do? Well, in the evening, turn the TV off. Just turn it off. Go back to either a hobby that you like crocheting or cross-stitching. I have a cross-stitch that I bought 2 years ago, and it's a stocking for my granddaughter. And do you know, it's still not done. It's still not done. But go back to reading. Let me give you some statistics of what reading can actually do for you over turning on that TV. So it helps you focus on concentration, stimulates imagination, stress reduction, memory retention. As we get older, we need that, ladies. Personal growth, deeper joy, and you're turning off the blue light before you go to bed. That was all why2read.com, benefits of reading over watching TV. We need to keep our minds sharp. Find some books that you love. They can be how-to books. They can be stories, fiction, nonfiction. Maybe you like history. Find something that you love and dig into the book, and you're relaxing your body while you're reading. You're helping your mind, focusing on something else, and you turning off that blue light that really does mess with our circadian rhythm. Did I do that before burnout? Absolutely not. I still struggle a little bit with the TV at night. I would rather read. I want the TV off. But I do fall in line with watching YouTube. So I'm sure they don't want to hear that. But, I've got my favorite channels too. So in the evening, start that. And then the other thing is to create a calming bedtime routine. Now, I tried to do this. I would put my alarm on my phone on for 9 p.m. And from 9 to 10, I would have that hour for a calming nighttime routine. So I would get my shower, I would wash my face, I would use my moisturizer. There are two things you could do that do help with sleep if you are having issues actually getting enough sleep or going to sleep. And one is magnesium lotion, and then the other one is they have Epsom salts with magnesium and chamomile in them. So if you want to take a bath, you could use the Epsom salts and relax in the bath, maybe with your book, a cup of evening tea. So I have another tea for you. Evening repose tea. And this is what I will drink before I go to bed. And it's calming and it's soothing and it just helps you to relax. And this has chamomile, peppermint leaf, spearmint, lavender, lemon verbena, and rose petals. And I will tell you, these teas, I did bring those so that you could see. These teas are loose leaf, but the ingredients, they're beautiful teas. And I did go and research. So the Flashes tea is $5.75 on Mountain Rose, which is not bad because there are grocery store teas that are in the tea bag that I will spend $4.99 or $4.79, something like that on. And I find these are organic and they work beautifully. And then the evening repose tea is $6. So I do end up buying bulk teas to get the free shipping, and then I don't feel like it's so bad. But check them out. They also have a YouTube channel. Like I said, I am not an affiliate. I just love their products. And check out these teas at mountainrose.com. And like I said, they do have a YouTube channel. So the nighttime routine is so important. Don't lay in bed and turn that TV on. I know sometimes it's the noise that makes you fall asleep, but the blue light so messes with our circadian rhythm. So we need to turn that off. Again, I mentioned take a day of rest. Now, when I was working, rest, what is rest? I mean, you work Monday through Friday, and then you have the weekend, and on the weekend you have to do all your laundry, and you have to do the grocery shopping, and you have to prepare for the week to come. I get it. I was there. So I'll give you some tips of what I started to do if you are in the work, Monday through Friday work mode. On Friday, our Kroger always had 4 times the fuel points. So I would make my grocery list and I would go shopping on Friday when I got off of work, and I would bring everything home. And then Saturday, I didn't have to leave, and I would take care of the laundry, and I would prepare either meals ahead of time, some meal prep, or I would just cut all the vegetables up and have them ready for fast meals when I got home from work. And then Sunday, I spent it with my husband. A lot of times I was out in the garden working then. But it is a goal of mine, and I'll keep you updated, but it is a goal of mine to have a true day of rest. Not even now. You know, even though I'm home, I'm still busy, and garden season is just around the corner. That makes me even busier. Plus putting up the content for this channel, I'm still busy with the teenagers. But I do take at least an hour a day for my devotionals. And that is something else that I recommend. Make sure you're getting your spiritual time either in the morning or the evening, or maybe on your lunch hour if you're working. Take a book with you for your lunch hour, or take a walk if you are able to. But the other thing that I'm going to ask you to do is focus in on your health with diet. So all of the preservatives, all of the junk food, all of the fast food, all of that, it is not helping in your burnout. We need to refuel ourselves with good, wholesome proteins, fruits, vegetables, good fats. Some of us can kick the dairy. I know my husband does not do that well with dairy. Some of us need to kick the carbs. It's not a one size fits all at all. My husband and I, what I can eat, he cannot always eat. And I work our meals around both of our diets. But you can look at all of these diets out there. And I'm not saying you have to lose weight. That's not it. I don't know. I know I could shed 20 pounds and be really happy about that. But when you're looking at your actual lifestyle diet, you know, it's tough. You're tired at the end of the night, and you end up just ordering a pizza because you still have things to get done and dishes to wash and laundry to do, and it's never ending. But if you can prioritize your sleep, prioritize saying no, and prioritize your calendar, and then prioritize the food that you are taking in, it will make a huge difference in not burning out. Take it from me. I didn't prioritize any of that. And then I added alcohol on top of it, which doesn't help at all. So, meditation, if you can do it. Have you ever seen Eat, Pray, Love or read the book? And Julia Roberts is in the meditation room in India, and she sits down and she's supposed to be calming her mind, and all of a sudden she goes into this scene of, I could put a meditation room in my home, how would I decorate it, all of this stuff. And what seemed like probably 20 minutes was 1 minute. That is me in meditation. Absolutely. This is something that I want to get working on, is learning how to meditate. So if any of you found any great apps or videos or books that you have read and you've mastered meditation, leave them in the comments below, because those of us that are either on burnout or recovering from it, we really could use some good advice there. So daily devotionals, meditation, taking that day of rest, using things that are going to benefit you, like the herbs and vitamins and minerals. You know, we are so depleted in minerals. It is crazy. I'll be doing another video on what I used to do and what I'm doing now to combat that. But create that calming bedtime for you. You know, maybe even find a small light, put it by your bedside, read when you climb into bed, put on those cozy PJs, the ones that you love, and, you know, just create that relaxing bedtime. Now, if you're anything like me and you are going through perimenopause and menopause, then you get to the point where, great, I can go to sleep, but I can't stay asleep. Minerals, magnesium, and all of that, that will help. I promise it will help. My tea has helped. So keep that in mind. And then again, in the evening, turn that TV off for a while. Just try it for a week. See how you feel. Pick up that book or that hobby and try to relax. But most importantly, be true to you. Be true to your time. If you need to, I know this was helpful for me in the beginning, was journaling. And I would take note of, this is what I did this evening, and this is how I felt in the morning. So see if that gives you any help, okay? You know, I made a lot of mistakes over the past year and a half. I'm writing them. And you might feel like you've been making these mistakes too. Well, you're not alone, for one. And two, we can make a change. We can take our lives back, and we can be happy again. So thank you so much for tuning in today. If you do like today's content, hit the like button, maybe subscribe so we can visit again. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Get some rest this weekend. Take a rest day. Sleep in if you can. But do something for you. And I will see you on Monday. Till next time.